"Thou shalt have no gods before me" commences the 10 Commandments, or in other words, the 10 rules which once outlined my distinction between right and wrong. I was baptized and raised Catholic, and my moral beliefs were once greatly dictated by my religion and how my parents taught it to me. According to my parents, I was to follow the commandments strictly and to never stray from them. If I did, I would have to tell my mom so that she could promptly take me to confession, where a priest could give me penance that would follow with God's forgiveness. Whenever I would do something that would go against what my religion teaches and parents taught me, I would feel guilt and shame and would gladly go to confession to relieve these feelings. It sounds crazy to me now, but I, being young and vulnerable, completely accepted this moral sense. But as I grew older, it was inevitable for me to notice that people around me were doing things that my religious beliefs labeled as very wrong, and they were doing them without second thought or apology. Not only this, but they didn't get punished for their actions, and they certainly did not attend confession. I considered what was wrong with them, or perhaps, for the first time, I considered what was wrong with me. Were they evil? Was there a kink in their conscience? I simply couldn't figure it out. All of the above was doubtful. I could hardly believe that some of my bestest friends were evil. I felt ashamed to be so unfairly judging them. They seemed happy with themselves and their actions, so shouldn't I have been happy with them too? It wasn't like they were hurting anybody. I felt lost and confused and mostly self-conscious for being so judgmental. After some reflection, I realized that some of my friends had very different religious upbringings and some didn't really have any at all. The contrasting ways by which we were brought up made us have various moral foundations and distinctions. Their beliefs weren't wrong or right as compared to mine. They were just different. Realizing this was definitely an epiphany. I finally learned to understand that just like our fingerprints, our moral process is unique to each of us. It reflects who we are depending on the past, present, and the future. My religion ruled my decisions because that's what I was taught, but everyone was brought up differently, so I realized I cannot expect them to see things the same way. It was foolish of me to judge someone based on what I thought was wrong, because they might not think it was wrong at all. The direct interpretation of the 10 Commandments, which I was taught to follow, did not offer room for deviation. It basically put me in a bubble. This is why I have greatly strayed from my religion. For a while, this caused great anger in my family, but ironically, I believe that I did the right thing. Losing some of my religious beliefs is simply a part of my moral development. I learned to understand that my church's ideas aren't very applicable to the modern world, especially because they were formed thousands of years ago. Certainly, they do address such moral absolutes like murder, but they also offer an unrealistic and somewhat closed mindset. Such a mindset can be traced to modern problems like sexual discrimination, religious genocide, religious warfare, and other issues caused by a discriminative attitude. I am not saying religion is wrong. It is healthy for one to have a form of guidance and hope in a power greater than our own. I simply have learned to believe that it is unreasonable for it to dictate something as subjective as our moral sense. Drifting from my family's religious values has led me to become more accepting of others and their decisions. I am no longer driven by my religion. I allow sensibility and a consideration of others to determine right from wrong. My moral distinction can be summed up in an anonymous proverb which says, "Wrong is defined by unnecessary suffering," meaning that as long as nobody suffers without a fair reason, the action is right. I believe that this form of guidance could perhaps lead to the peacefulness and harmony of morality which we all wish the world could be. This simple development in everybody's morale could be the change the world needs. Like Gandhi said, we need to be the change we want to see in the world.